Alright, let's start watching the video.
Just look at this place, an incredible city of shimmering towers, literally rising out of the desert sand. It's a true marvel, right? But underneath all that gleaming glass and steel, there's this invisible, massive challenge. How on earth do you keep a whole megacity cool when the sun is blazing down? Well, that invisible challenge, that's where I come in. The answer isn't just about using more power, it's about using smarter power. And it's pretty fitting because today we're going to dive into how data and, you guessed it, artificial intelligence are completely changing the game for the hidden systems that keep our cities alive. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll get into Dubai's really unique cooling problem. Then we'll look at the clever technology of district cooling and hunt down this sneaky energy waster called low delta T. After that, we'll see how data completely flipped the script on this problem. And finally, we'll look at what all of this means for the future of cities everywhere. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Our whole story kicks off with this fundamental clash. You've got a world-class city built in one of the hottest climates on the planet. I mean, when summer temperatures climb past 40 degrees Celsius, that's over 104 Fahrenheit, air conditioning stops being a comfort and becomes the city's actual lifeblood. Every single one of these amazing buildings needs a constant, powerful flow of cool air just to be habitable. And you have to understand the sheer scale of energy we're talking about. A whopping 39% of a typical building's entire energy use is just for its HVAC systems. Think about that. That is a huge slice of the energy pie, which makes it the #1 target if you're trying to be more efficient. And that, of course, leads to the big question. With so much energy being used, what if a huge chunk of it is just disappearing, wasted by some hidden problem buried deep inside the system? So how is Dubai fighting back? Well, the answer is in a much smarter, centralized idea called district cooling. This is really the hero of our story today. Okay, so instead of every single building having its own clunky, inefficient AC unit on the roof, a district cooling system acts more like a city's circulatory system. You've got a central plant, that's the heart, and it pumps chilled water, that's the blood, through this huge network of pipes to hundreds of buildings. The water absorbs the heat from the buildings and then flows back to the heart to get cooled all over again. It is so much more efficient. And in Dubai, the absolute giant in this field is a company called Empower. They are the biggest district cooling provider in the world, and they're responsible for keeping a huge part of the city comfortable. And when I say massive, I mean it. We are talking over 1 million refrigeration tons of cooling capacity. They serve more than 70,000 customers. This isn't just a big company, this is infrastructure on a truly breathtaking scale. But even in a system this advanced, a villain was hiding in the pipes, a kind of hidden energy vampire, sucking away efficiency and money. And this brings us to a really key concept called low delta T. So what in the world is delta T? It's actually pretty simple. It's just the change in temperature. The central plant sends out super cold water. In a perfect system, that water flows through a building, absorbs a ton of heat, and comes back much warmer. A big difference in temperature, a high delta T, means the water did its job perfectly. The problem is something called low delta T syndrome. This is what happens when the water comes back to the plant without getting warm enough. It's still too cold. So to make up for it, the system's giant pumps have to work overtime, pushing more and more and more water through the pipes. The result? You're burning massive amounts of energy just to move water around that isn't even working efficiently. And this is not a small issue. For just one typical large cooling system, this syndrome can add up to an extra 31,733 euros in wasted electricity every single year. Now imagine that cost multiplied across an entire megacity. So how do you fight an enemy you can't even see? You make it visible. And you do that with data. This is where we get to the really clever solution, a huge data integration project. So here was the big problem for Empower. Their network has over 70,000 meters out there, measuring how much cooling each customer uses. But, and this is a big but, the meters were all from different companies, and each one spoke its own private digital language. It was basically a modern Tower of Babel, but for data. A single clear picture of the whole system? Absolutely impossible. The solution was brilliant, really. A 4-step plan. First, they teamed up with a specialist, dial metering. Then, they set up a universal network that could talk to all the different meters. Step 3, they pulled all that messy, fragmented data into one clean, single stream. And finally, they plugged that stream into one intelligent platform. And this is what they got. For the very first time, the operators had a single command center where they could see the live health of the entire network in real time. They could spot a building with that low delta T problem instantly and then dispatch a team to fix it. They could finally optimize energy use across the whole city. But just seeing the problem is only the beginning. This unified data stream is the perfect fuel for artificial intelligence. Now, Empower is using AI to predict maintenance needs. It can analyze all the patterns in the data to see potential failure before it actually happens. That means preventing breakdowns and keeping the whole system running at absolute peak performance. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. This whole project is way more than just a tech upgrade for one company. It's a model for what comes next. This is our blueprint for a cooler future. The benefits are just so clear and powerful, right? They took 70,000 different data points that couldn't talk to each other and got them all into one coherent conversation. This gives them that precise, real-time monitoring to hunt down wasted energy. And it creates a flexible system that's ready for whatever new technologies come along tomorrow. And this is why this matters so much, far beyond Dubai. An intelligent network like this isn't just a nice-to-have feature anymore. It's a vital, critical part of a modern city, absolutely essential for managing energy and hitting those huge climate goals, like the Net Zero 2050 initiative. You see? By solving this incredibly complex, invisible problem, Dubai isn't just keeping its own city cool. It's actually creating a new standard for how the world's great cities can continue to grow, but do it sustainably, even in a changing climate. Which really leaves us with one final big question to think about. As our planet gets warmer, the challenge of cooling our cities is only going to get bigger. So is this kind of smart, data-first approach the real key to building the sustainable, efficient, and truly livable cities of tomorrow?
Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe for more videos.